What is going on, guys? This is James Watson Jr. and we're playing some Black Ops 1 Team Deathmatch on Convoy, I think it is. I don't know. It's one of my least favorite maps, but I decided, fuck it, I need to get some gameplay, so when I was playing at the time, and here I am fucking with Sandra, like, peekaboo, haha. But, anyways, as you can tell by the title, this is part 2 of Dirty Cops. And I said in my last video that I would tell you why a certain officer decided to try to intimidate me every time he came around and had any dealings with me. And I'm going to tell you that right now. It all started one night, me, Sandra, and our neighbors that I spoke about in the first video, which I kind of got off subject on that one. But anyways, we were all outside hanging out talking, us and some other people down the road that led down the block and stuff like that. We're all just kind of hanging out, chit-chatting, having a good time, you know, bullshitting, enjoying the weather, you know. And out of nowhere, this guy that lives directly across from me in the cul-de-sac across from me comes walking across the street. There's like 8 or 9 of us outside standing there. And it's not daylight, but it's out in the open, you know. We're standing out at the end of the driveway, just hanging out talking. And a guy comes walking up to me right in front of everybody. And his exact words was, "Hey, you want to buy some drugs?" It wasn't, "Hey, man, you know, can I talk to you, you know, blah, 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 over here, you know, cop pull me to the side or nothing." No. Right there, point blank, just right to the point. "Hey, you want to buy some drugs?" He didn't say what kind of drugs. He just said, "You want to buy some drugs?" So, obviously, I'm guessing he had anything I could think of, I'm guessing. I don't know. Because I told him, "No, I'm good. I don't do that." And, of course, my neighbor was like, "Well, what all you got?" And the guy was like, "Well, I can get you anything you want." And that's when, of course, my neighbor's like, "No, you know, if you're going to be doing stuff like that, you know, whatever, you need to go back over there because, you know, we don't deal with those type of people and that type of stuff. So you just need to go back over there and don't come back." And that was the end of it. Until, of course, me, trying to be an upstanding, law-abiding citizen of my community, I called the cops. Because some guy just tried to sell me drugs, basically, in front of a group of people where there were multiple witnesses. And so, you know, I'm like, hey, this shouldn't be going on because we got kids that come out and play, stuff like that. Even, you know, when it's dark outside, there's street light and this and that, you know. And the kids will come out, like before out, it's a weekend, you know. Why keep the kids inside when we're outside having a good time? And so, there's kids out, you know, at night sometimes, and I don't want this guy trying to sell them drugs or this guy, you know, going to put drugs in his pocket or something like that after selling some to somebody and drop some and one of the kids pick it up not knowing what it is and somehow eat it or whatever. You know, whatever the case may be. Don't get me wrong, my kids know if you find something outside on the ground, you don't pick it up and eat it. But there's a lot of other kids in this neighborhood, not just mine and my neighbor's kids, but more than that. And there's some younger kids that probably don't know better. And so I did what anybody would do that was, you know, trying to look out for the well-being and safety of kids and also their neighborhood. I called the cops. Well, when the cops shows up, he comes over and he asks us, you know, if we're the ones that called, and I'm like, yeah, you know. And he asked what happened. We told him, I mean, everybody out there told him the exact same thing. The guy come over and point blank, he didn't say, "Hey, what's up, how you doing," nothing. He come over, first thing out of his mouth is, "Hey, man, you want to buy some drugs?" And that's it. Well, the officer, point blank, straight faced and everything, not joking around, not, you know, okay, I'm fucking with you, no. Point blank, straight faced, as serious as he could be, sits there and tells us that there is absolutely nothing he can do without more proof. Excuse me? Without more proof? What more proof do you fucking need than some drug dealer coming over here out in the fucking middle of the open, walking across the fucking street, right under the street light, so it's not daylight, but it's broad light out, you know, it's lit up, and walking over to me in front of 7 or 8 other motherfuckers out there with me and sitting there asking me, "Hey, do you want to buy some drugs?" What more fucking proof do you need than that? Well, you know, that was pretty much, you know, I didn't agree with him, obviously, and I still don't agree with him, and I stated that. I point blank asked him, "What more fucking proof do you need?" That's my exact words. And he told me that I need to watch my mouth. Well, the funny thing about that is I told him the same thing. An officer of the law cannot be offended. So therefore, I can cuss out a cop all fucking day long, and he can't do a fucking thing about it. And and that's exactly what I told him. And what does he say? Oh, well, some of these people out here with you might be offended by what you said. And I point blank said, no, because all these people out here know me better than that, and they know me well enough not to be offended by anything I say, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And they all shook their head yes and verbally agreed. Yes, we are not offended by anything he says. And so from that point forward, me and that officer did not get along. He basically went and told other officers that I was a bad person, I was trouble, this, and this. And the reason I know that is because there was an officer I had no dealing with whatsoever. The officer that came over the first time is the only one I had had any dealings with. And then about a week later, maybe not even a week later, another officer comes through on the day shift as we're all standing outside. He calls my neighbor's wife over and point blank tells her to tell me, because he ain't got the fucking balls to get out of his car and tell me himself like a real fucking man. He has my neighbor's wife come over and tell me, oh, tell that guy over there that if he runs his mouth at me and disrespects me like he did my fellow officer the other night, I'm going to haul his ass off to jail. Point blank. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And she's like, yes, that's his exact words. And ever since then, I have had a problem with the fucking cops here in Mount Vernon. Ever since then. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple that I've had some dealings with, that were decent guys and all that. And obviously have not been talking to these other officers that, are talking to each other a lot, because they don't seem to have a problem with me. But yet, these other officers, before they even meet me, they automatically have a problem with me. So there's 3 officers here in Mount Vernon that does not like me. All because of what one officer had said to them based on his first impression of me, because I was unsatisfied with the way he was handling a situation. And I wasn't being disrespectful to him by cussing at him. I was cussing to him about the situation. I was like, what more fucking proof do you need? I was upset because a guy tried to sell me drugs right here in my neighborhood where kids come out and play. And he says he needs more proof than me and 7 other people saying that they saw this guy trying to sell drugs. And he needs more proof than that. So, of course, I was upset at the situation. And so that's what I was cussing about, at the situation. And, yes, I was cussing to the officer. But like I said, an officer of the law cannot be offended. I've been told by multiple other officers that that's how it is. That's the truth. That's all there is to it, That once they put that badge on, they cannot be offended. Now, if I see an officer and he's off duty in plain clothes at the grocery store or something like that, I'll be like, hey, motherfucker, you're a piece of shit. He can call the cops on me and I can get arrested for disorderly conduct. But if he's wearing that badge, I can be like, hey, motherfucker, you're a piece of shit. And guess what? He won't do a fucking thing to me, because if he does, it's a lawsuit, because an officer can't be offended. And it's kind of funny. Another reason why the reason I thought about this whole situation and this whole moral dilemma, I guess you could say, that I'm having with the officers here, is because me, my mom, Sandra, and the 2 boys went out to eat at Dairy Queen here tonight. Which, by the time this video is played, it's going to be like 2 months after and all that. But still, we went to eat at Dairy Queen, and as we're sitting there finishing up our meals, we go to get our blizzards, We got to get our blizzard. Dairy Queen, homie, you got to get a blizzard. And, because that's what I like about Texas, homie, Dairy Queen, blizzards. Well, anyways, we go to get our blizzards, and officers of the law happen to come walking in. And who comes walking in but the one that told my neighbor's wife that if I disrespect him and mouth off to him like I did his fellow officer, then he's going to haul my ass off to jail. And the whole time, I'm standing there right next to the guy, and he won't even so much as fucking look at me, because I've already put the word out through the other officers that I am not intimidated by a badge and a gun, and I am not scared of somebody that's going to sit there and try to walk all over my rights as a citizen of this country. Because last I fucking checked, we do still have freedom of speech and freedom of press and journalism and all this other fucking bullshit, whatever. So there's a lot of constitutional rights that I still have that have not been fucking done away with yet. The Constitution has not been amended to do away with those rights. So therefore, I'm going to exercise those rights and practice those rights loudly and proudly until the day that they are amended out of the Constitution of the United States of America. Anyways, enough of me ranting and raving about this subject. There's the gameplay, 18-13. Not the best gameplay, but I know the commentary was very entertaining. I know. It was. So, if you agreed with my commentary being very entertaining. Go ahead and leave a like and a favorite down below. Drop me a comment, give me some feedback about it. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It takes just a couple seconds, and it's very, very much appreciated. Instagram and Twitter will be in the description like always. And other than that, have a good one, guys.